Hi, my name's Grey Tiger, and I'd like to welcome you to my first mod development update for Total War Warhammer 2. So today I'm just going to take you briefly through two mods that I'm working on. Firstly, there's the Chieftain of Deep Warren for Clan Rictus, and then we have the Plagues of the Liber Bubonicus for Clan Pestilence. So let's get into the first one, the Chieftain of Deep Warren. So we're just going to watch a little bit of footage here, and I'll just talk you through some of the things that are happening. It's just going to give a brief overview really of what you can expect when this is released. So there are several mechanics at play. Firstly, we have, as you can see on screen, upgrades for Stormvermin. So you've got two different categories, offensive and defensive. Now you spend food to gain a tier, and those tiers will give you different rewards. You can choose to go purely offensive if you wish, or you can take a balanced approach. The choice is yours. If you've got the food, then you can upgrade the units. So let's just move on now to the next turn, and we'll see the overview event pop up. Now this for some reason doesn't trigger reliably on the first turn, so I've just moved it to the second. So this here will just give you the mechanics at play, so you can get a more deep understanding of what's going on. Okay, so we're going to take our army here, and we're going to take the settlement down to the south. So this is a Dark Elf settlement, and when we take it, it'll show you another mechanic that's at play. So no point fighting, we'll just auto-resolve that. And occupy, I think. Okay, so now that we've defeated the Dark Elves for the first time, we'll be given a reward of a new Stormvermin unit, which has been trained in the weapons and tactics of the Dark Elves. So that there is the new Stormvermin unit at the top, the Dark Malice Guard. So you can then recruit that into your army whenever you wish. As you can see, it's available in the Regiments of Renown dialogue. Now I won't worry about recruiting that right now. I'll just show you the other part of defeating that race. That also gives us access to what I call the Nemesis mechanic. So as you can see, we now have the Dark Elves unlocked, and we can choose to make them our Nemesis. We'll do so. Now for the next 13 turns, as you can see here, we are locked in as the Dark Elves being our Nemesis. Now we'll get some bonuses for every time we fight them, but we'll also receive penalties for whenever we fight anyone else. So we cannot change who our Nemesis is during those 13 turns. So it makes you think about, oh, might I be attacked by by another race apart from the Dark Elves? So you've set them as your Nemesis. You're all ready to go and beat the living daylights out of them. And then suddenly the High Elves show up, and you've got penalties every time you fight the High Elves. Now here we're just going to take a quick look at the units themselves. Now there's no new models at play, there's no fancy textures. It's just kit bashing really. I probably will do a little bit of colouring once I've tried that out, but the main difference between the units is the weapons that they use. So each one uses a weapon from a different race. Now there are 14 in total, but the first 10 you encounter and defeat are the 10 that you have access to with the Nemesis mechanic. So if you do a second playthrough with Rictus and you happen to fight different races first off, you'll get access to different units. Here we have the Dark Elves version, so the Dark Knight's Guard. These are the Wood Elves. I love that one with the cool little horns on them. So the fur in the forest, as I call them. These are the greenskin version. It's Bretonnians. That's the Empire, so they're taking the weapons from the flagellants, the bells, hence the name. These are the Sandstalkers, which you get when you defeat the Tomb Kings. Now each of these units will have one of the unique abilities of the race that they've defeated. This is the scurvy, yes, the scurvy-tide rats. Okay, I think that's enough now of the storm vermin. Let's move on to the second mod, the Plagues of the Liber Bubonicus for Clan Pestilence. Now this mod is a bit further behind than the other, so there's not as much to show. So here we have at the top the Warpstone gas, which is a new resource which you use to create your plagues and to upgrade your units. So this has 4 units that it concentrates on. So we have the Plague Monks, we have Plague Claw Catapults, Censer Bearers, and a new unit that I've created for this mod, which is the Scourge Sentinels. So each one of these has 3 tiers of upgrades, and as you upgrade the individual tiers, you also upgrade the progress bar at the bottom, which unlocks the different plagues that you can get. And those plagues are then given to every single one of your armies, and can be used once per battle. Okay, let's just take a brief look at the buildings where you can actually get your Warpstone resource. So we get them from the Plagues building chain at tiers 4 and 5, and we can. That's where we also unlock the Scourge Sentinels at tier 5, and we can also get the Warpstone gas at, I believe it's the Energy building chain. Once again at tiers 4 and 5. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at the new unit that I mentioned. Just a tiny battle, just to show them off. Okay, so these are the new unit, the Scourge Sentinels. So small unit of 22, highly elite troops. They've got a ranged attack, which sort of fires a blast of plague energy at the enemies, and they can handle themselves quite well in melee. They've got anti-large and an on-contact plague effect. So the progress on both of these mods is going quite nicely at the moment. The Chieftain of Deep Warren, I believe, will be ready in about 2, maybe 3 weeks, depending on testing. The Plagues of the Liber Bubonicus, about 2 weeks behind that. So we're looking at early September for that one. Now, if you're not a fan of the Skaven, don't worry, I do have other mods in the pipeline. I have a mod for the Dwarves, which will be my most ambitious mod to date, where you will have a rune smithing mechanism, which you can combine into rune words and then assign to your armies. I plan on having many combinations of rune words. So looking forward to continuing work on that one and getting it up to the point that these two are at currently. So thank you very much for joining me today. Hope to see you again as I get closer to release. I'll probably do a playthrough of both Clan Rictus and Clan Pestilence, maybe the first 30 turns or so. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be releasing more content on there in the future, and I hope to see you again soon.